Oh, the whole family's here.
The whole family's here. Yes.
This is adorable. Is Brielle coloring?
She is. What are you cooking up, Brielle? You don't know yet?
It'll be
You
creative.
just gotta create.
That's adorable.
It's a surprise.
We live? We actually?
Yeah, we're live. Mike, why don't you introduce these lovely guests we have here?
I will. To my left is
Queen Bee.
Mary Sander, the best and the brightest. When you talk about a mom who like literally has the mom gene, like the DNA, it's in there.
Yep.
She's got it. Just the best mom in the game.
We tip our hat to Mary.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here without her.
Love you,
We got baby B. She's a young legend. I would say, if she's not tenfold more famous than I am, it's a failure.
Yes.
It's on all of us.
Look at her laughing.
She already knows she wants to be a singer.
Brielle.
Hey, Brielle, can we hear it? Yeah.
No.
Come on, you've been doing that since you were 2.
That's why she'll be great.
But Brielle, Brielle, what's your favorite song of mine? What's your favorite song of mine? If you had to pick one. Keep going.
Keep going.
She's a heavy. She's a Steve. She like listens.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I see her, every time she sends me videos, they're like she knows the words. She's rocking.
I love that.
She's the best.
Keep working down the line.
5 years old. She's 5.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the swag of like a 12-year-old. It's insane.
At least.
Anyways, I'm
At the
bragging.
minimum. At the minimum.
Marisa. She used to take care of me when I was. I wouldn't say I fought a lot when I was younger, but like I remember I have memories of her like when I would say 10, 12. Like she was older and like the older dude, like she would always be ready to fucking turn up on somebody if they're fucking with
I
me.
did yesterday.
You did?
I was like yelling at them.
Oh yeah.
I was such a jerk.
But
Wow.
She had you back.
been through obviously everything together, but she's been through a lot of shit. She's been the toughest, strongest beast.
You're rock.
And it's, you know how you get inspired by other things. People get inspired by this or that. Like that's inspiring when you go through hard shit. Because I went through a relationship shit. That fucking shit was hard as hell.
Mm-hmm.
She went through it way worse and fucking went through it with flying colors.
Thank you.
That's Marisa, everyone.
Support.
That's what
Yeah.
siblings are for.
And then Big Papa Stud over there. That's the original Studmeister. He, the crazy part is, Mom, you could chime in on this.
I will.
In high school, his nickname was, what, Studley?
I used to be a little better looking though.
I find that hard to believe.
What are the chances of that?
Come on.
Like,
Get straight out of town.
He had no idea.
zero bullshit. Like, I did
That
the
it was
Mike Stud
Studley.
thing, like the whole Mike Stud thing, obviously. I probably haven't articulated it on the podcast, but when I went to Duke, I wasn't allowed to have social media. So Mike Stud came from that, just like being a fake name. And my mom, this was before music, when I told her about my fake Facebook, she's like, "That's crazy. Your dad, we used to call him Studley. That's insane." Like,
I think they were making fun of me.
they were.
You had a girlfriend
Tell him, Mary.
every 3
Into
months.
the microphone, Mary. Tell
That's
him,
what
Mary.
he did.
Every 3 months.
Every 3 months, and when it got to the 3-month mark, he would move on until he,
Wow.
and that went
it's
for
in the DNA as well.
2
Seeing
years
you in
through
a whole
high
new
school
light.
until he met me, and that stopped that. That was
So
the end of that.
you
was it.
guys met at what age?
I was 14 and he was 17.
Yeah.
14.
Wow. The
And
magic,
then
the magic
what
started
just
early.
What just passed though? Just recently was the 40.
July 9th
Not
was
40.
our 43rd anniversary of our first date.
43,
Well,
40,
37 years married.
Can you walk us through that first date?
37 years married.
Oh my God, yes.
And don't
Good.
spare one detail.
One thing. It was. Go ahead, Papa.
Well, I had to get out of town because I was dodging.
That's a great
I
start.
was
Keep
dodging
going.
a girlfriend, and
Yeah.
we went to a place up in another part of the state.
Oh, you got to be able to elaborate on that a little bit.
Go ahead, elaborate.
We
no,
grew up
it
in
was a
South
disco.
County where it was, yeah. We went to Cranston
Yeah.
for our first
didn't
date
think
at
I'd
a
heard of
disco.
Amazing.
Well, that's where we live now.
I
but-
know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We grew
So
up
you guys
in
went to
Hicktown.
Cranston?
Yeah, we were from down south.
Hicksville down
Yeah.
there. Southern.
So what'd you guys
We
do?
went to the disco.
So you
But-
guys,
but
you
I
guys
was-
danced?
And she smoked, and she lit up a cigarette backwards.
But no, I forgot about that. I was so nervous.
And that's when he knew.
I forgot about that. But let's take a step back, though. It was 14,
That's legendary.
14 and 17 when we met.
Right?
and he asked me out, and I said no, and I didn't say no until I was 16, and he was 19. So we went to the club when I was
So you
16,
held off.
he was 19.
Yeah,
So you're putting the
16.
wheels on her when she was 14? Nice.
It was a different time back then.
It was a
Mike.
different time. It was a different time. So
I
what?
forgot about the cigarette, though.
So
I was
the-
so nervous. That's right.
funny.
I still smoked it, and it was like hard as a rock, the filter.
So you lit
After
the filter?
I lit the filter by mistake. But I didn't want him to know. He didn't find out until probably
Oh, I
a couple
knew.
months. You could tell? Oh.
He knew. He just didn't let you know he knew.
That was
And
a
I had
strike.
my first rum and coke.
It was your first strike?
That was the first
My
strike.
first rum and coke.
Now,
I
the
ever
drinking
had.
age was 18 back then,
Yes.
yeah?
Yeah,
But-
18.
And when you went to the disco, that was like the cool place to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
you
was
guys
the
dan-
70s.
you guys like hit the dance floor. That's
Yeah,
what
we
happened.
When I
Yeah.
think disco, I think Saturday Night Fever.
It
John
was
Travolta.
just like
That's
it.
what
Had
it
the
was like.
floor
I
and
wish we could
everything
cut
else.
to a clip of him
Can you
dancing.
imagine? His
so
fro
bad.
was...
These two. Both of them.
He had a fro this big.
Mike
and
Senior, I had
when
an afro too. You had one too?
Yeah.
Amazing.
But I wouldn't...
For the
I got a
podcast, we gotta
picture.
bring them up side by side.
We'll get a picture.
got
of
a
him.
He
We'll
had
see
a
pictures of
crazy
me.
fro.
Yeah.
But we'll bring it up.
We'll see who had
We'll
the
do it
most
at the
supreme
end.
fro.
Yeah, but I made him cut it before we went on our first date because I didn't like
That's
it.
crazy. I cut mine before my senior
You
prom.
made him cut it
Wow.
before you went on a
I
date?
said I wouldn't go out on a date until he cut it.
The sacrifices
She
that
was,
he makes.
she was mandating things out of the gate.
The sacrifices we make for our ladies.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Can't
Tell me
believe
about
it.
it.
So I just want
That was
to
it.
I just want to go on record and say that I get whenever people like meet your family and same when they meet my family,
Yeah.
I always get this same exact response from them. They're like, "Oh my God, you have like a great family."
Yeah.
Like they're surprised.
Yeah. How'd you turn out like this?
Not to discount you and I because we're great, but well, just
Hey,
judge-
bro, that's like why people like expect me to change. How could I?
yeah, and it's
Is
obviously
that my tummy making
No,
noise or
it's
your
mine.
tummy?
That's
Your
mine.
tummy?
Yeah.
a lot of people only know us by what they see on the interwebs and what they see at the shows, and they think we probably were raised in a barn.
Delinquents. But we're really not.
Yeah, here we are. We're raised by two lovely families.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my
Absolutely.
parents on here
Kudos
one of
to
these
your
days.
mom and dad.
My,
They,
my mom's name is Mary too.
Amazing. Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but I was different back in the day. I was like where we grew up too is just like, this is gonna sound bad, but we would get in fight. He would bring me to him. He'd bring me. I'd be like 13, 14, and people were fucking
you
with
were
me at
8.
school. 8?
8, your first one.
Yeah.
Right?
He would bring me down there and be like, "Yo, go fight him, man." For real, like
You had to.
handle it, figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's really what I feel like is missing now. Like,
I couldn't agree more.
well, just times change, and like you used to be able to you gotta take the beats. If you need to get beat up, you get beat up. You fucking rub some dirt on it. Start over tomorrow. Now it's like, I was in that phase of like I was doing that and we'd fight it out and shit, and then like it was right around the era where like parents started getting too involved. Like,
Yeah.
if kids are gonna fight, like let them. You know what I mean? Like the cops and like it's
Oh, the
like
prince of
12-year-olds
school
fighting. You know what I mean? It was just, but that's how they were. Like they would do. You guys were ready to rock when anyone was trying to turn up on me.
Marisa, didn't take care of him at the front line. We would have to at the back end.
For sure,
She was there.
for sure. But
I
it's-
can't like this is actually a giant issue now, and obviously there's a fine line between bullying someone and just fighting in general. It's a huge line, and
Yeah.
I get why people the whole bullying thing.
Oh, I mean,
That's an issue, but settling your differences amongst men, just like
kids especially.
kids, especially like you're not out to kill someone. It's just you're just
Right.
settling your differences, and
I mean, we'd like literally go like he'd bring me down to the field and I'd like go like throw some punches and roll around in the dirt and then be like later, you know. It was like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But still, that was
Yeah.
it was. I remember that shit vividly. Now I'm not like you see me. I still got it in me, but I try not to be.
well, we're not kids anymore.
Yeah,
Like now you fight, and it's like
Yeah.
But
it's an
those are
issue.
like
a
life
life
changing
ruining.
things. They're life changing minutes. So
yeah,
times.
fighting
If you don't stand up for yourself,
for sure.
then you're gonna get.
No,
whooped.
and that's the thing. Like where we grew up, that was the vibe. In New England, like
yeah.
you
Oh no, I know. I'm from Boston. I get it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I got my ass kicked when I was in 8th grade,
yeah,
and like that
feels
that,
good to get a whooping here and
That
there.
like I say this. I've said this to you before. Some people you meet now, and you're like, that
Yeah.
person just needs to get their ass kicked
Once.
at least once to straighten them out.
Where's Steve? Steve, like at the
Shit.
dog park. It's a perfect example. Steve needs to get his
Yeah.
ass kicked once.
Yeah.
We bring Steve to the dog park. I told him, and I was like, yeah, he's cool, but he turns up on the biggest dog he sees first.
He did.
He ran right in there, does it every time.
Yeah, every time.
Steve needs to get his ass kicked.
Steve needs
Where's
to get
he
his
at?
ass kicked. But the fabric of our new generation of these kids, like they talk like they've never gotten their ass kicked, and that's a
Well,
problem.
they do.
That's
they
right. It
definitely
is a-
haven't.
It's a big problem.
And they get old and they get worse.
Yeah, and like the reality of it. Like, dude, if you challenge people verbally,
Yeah.
and you negatively attack people verbally, like,
Exactly.
you deserve to get smacked.
Yeah, you do.
Exactly.
But not, and that's just like, it's more of an old school way of looking at it. I don't really see it like that anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
But
don't know.
at this, he's like, I do. At the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do stand by that. I think you should get whacked around if you're talking crazy.
So I want to pump the brakes for a second and back up. Mike Senior, you got in some scuffles back in the day?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I got in a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom, you gotta chime in on these. I mean, they're talking like the
Hi, Steve.
mom got that look on her face, like. Yeah,
Yeah,
nah.
yeah.
I only heard stories.
We chased down a few cars with you guys in car seats. But
Yeah,
it was-
like she whispers it.
it was a bat.
Was it a bat? I thought it was a metal.
Like he was a.
They
he
took
was
it
a
out of
big
the bat.
boy.
Yeah.
Too.
But
He was a big
they
boy,
smacked
so-
him right over the head with it, and it didn't even phase him.
So you got hit with a bat?
Tell me the story.
Yeah.
Tell me the story from
I
your
wasn't.
perspective.
Well, I
Oh, you
wasn't.
weren't there.
I was down the street at Judy and Kevin's, and she had the newborn baby, and they went out for a beer, and they
Yeah.
got in their
For
rumble.
a beer or
Yeah.
Oh, we were
17
walking
beers?
downtown and the kid stopped and started shit. So I said something to him and he got out of the car, hit me with a bat, and I said,
Over the head.
Was it a wooden bat or a metal
a
bat?
wooden bat.
Oh,
a
he hit you in the
baseball
head
bat.
with a wooden bat.
Yeah.
Did it break or no? It just-
No.
I mean, do you see his head?
No, I got the bat. I threw it on
Zoom
the
in
roof.
on that fucking head.
I threw it on the roof, and then I kicked the shit out of him and the rest of them. And then
on
the
the
cops
He
came.
was also very good friends with the chief of police down
Yeah.
in Jamestown, Rhode Island. So,
Okay, so you could get off
so-
the hook for certain things?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they know the kids were punks and they didn't mind me taking care of it.
So you put the beats on him?
Yeah.
After you get hit in the head with a bat, I feel like you got to put a pretty bad beating on the guy after
Yeah.
something like that. Sheesh. It was a group of guys?
Yeah, it was the whole carload.
They didn't know what they were getting into?
Yeah.
No.
They
did not.
They did not know what they were getting into.
So I have a question for Mike and Mary, just to change pace a little bit.
Yeah. Let's get off the fights, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get on a more positive
Oh, we've
direction.
had our fair share, the two of us, though.
Just a little more positive direction. 3 years ago, we were on a little show called This Is Mike Stud.
Mm-hmm.
And I, for one, watched the first couple episodes with my parents, which was an experience all on its own. Did you two watch the show, obviously?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, every.
Mike, did you watch the show with them at any point?
No, he was.
I think we were on tour and
Yeah,
then in
he was-
LA.
No, when it came out, he was here and we were at home.
Yeah, I don't think we were together. We never saw the
We
episode.
saw
Actually, I
reruns,
remember
maybe.
seeing some on
Reruns.
TV with you guys,
After the
watching
fact,
some on TV when it was, but it wasn't like our first time consuming it. you
Yeah.
know?
So what was you two's overall thought of the show? Don't hold back.
You
Just
guys
let us
liked
know.
it, right?
Oh, it was amazing.
I thought it
Yeah.
was great.
So proud of
Mm.
him and the whole gang and.
Even the partying, the craziness. What do you think about it?
I mean, I just
Thrilled about that. A few things I kind of, looked away and. But that's okay. Nothing I didn't
Well,
think.
I had all my people, my clients saying,
Yeah.
he drinks quite a bit.
My story would be no. They
I
just
go,
pick
no,
the
he
good
only
stuff
drinks
out.
at the show. They go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what
Yeah,
everybody.
right.
Well, they only pick
Yeah.
out. They just pick out the footage.
yeah, sure he does.
Well, he'll get over it.
He's young,
Rock
but
and
no, I
roll,
would
baby.
say they pick out just the crazy part of everything and make this one little show, and so you think it's
Yeah.
like that all the time, but it's not, and it's not. I know it's not, but it's still a lot of fun. And you
Right.
guys survived. That's the important thing.
Well, I gotta say,
I know where you're going with this.
I
anyway.
watched the first few episodes with my parents, and
Oh, boy.
it aired during the summer. I was down Cape Cod. They were like so psyched I'm on a TV show. Within like 3 minutes, it may have been in the opening credits. They have me like draws down in the back of the bus, like belligerently drunk, and I'm like, oh god.
Hey, but think about if we did the actual first show.
No, I know, but I mean,
The guy, you guys, those
Poor mom.
people listening
I
don't know
haven't-
this,
Dad,
but we
it's all
originally
right.
shot that pilot, and it was racy. Like the version,
yeah,
the Esquire version's like the cleanest it could have been.
right.
You remember the first shit?
No, I
and
remember.
that would have been. So they wanted to sell it to MTV or VH1, and we kind of pulled off on it because, like you're saying, like I knew in 5 years, like I don't want to look back at that and be like, the fuck was that? You know what I mean?
Right.
And this version,
This version,
I think this version.
it was really just me doing all of that.
Yeah, more or less.
And so within opening credits, like I'm not having the best representation of myself in front of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, like my mother, God bless her, she's like a lovely Roman Catholic woman. She's
is
very
lovely.
open-minded.
She is open-minded as well.
And my parents, like, they're the same way, but I think like that in the back of their minds, they're like, we want you to go have fun and do what you're doing now, because like we didn't really get the chance to do that.
Right.
Mm.
And because my dad fought in Vietnam, like, he didn't really get to, you know,
Dad's a legend.
he didn't like get to be in his 20s and like be a 20-year-old, you know.
Yeah.
But he probably has some stories too.
Oh yeah, probably about killing people.
We'll get him on. We'll get him on the cast.
He had
Yeah.
Liberty though.
I need Carl here
Great.
telling war stories.
Legit war
That would
stories.
be huge.
Yeah.
He got the swag like he's been in a war, and
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it in a negative way. Like he's just like he's not tripping about anything.
That's why I'm
He
disappointed.
will let the waiter know that he doesn't like their service though. One time I said that like
Oh,
had
I
his
love
swag
it.
was on a trilly. We were just kicking it. We were at some place. Where were we? Like, fucking sorry about the service. We were somewhere, but
We were in Reno. I
the
think.
service was bad. Reno.
We were in Reno.
What a place to be.
Yeah.
And we were kicking. I think we had a show. We just had a little family dinner. Waitress didn't have it figured out necessarily.
Yeah.
Carl let her know in the most
Like
just
like to the point.
just like from the
Blunt.
general to the lieutenant, like whatever the I don't even know.
not
the,
kicking and streaming.
just letting her know how piss poor the effort was.
Man,
And it didn't overuse any. I don't even think he raised his voice 1%. He's just
No.
like it was terrible.
How was her reaction?
but his words
It was
hurt.
terrible. You got to be way better at your job.
His words cut like a
More
sword.
or less, they do cut like a sword. I interjected on that, but sorry.
No, it's fine.
No, I was just like I loved it. I was geeking. I literally like she's kind of like that. Like we love food, and we'd go and like if she'd be hungry or if the waitress sucks, like she'll start looking at her like, yeah, Diet Coke, please, yes. Like lets her know, just with 2 seconds of mannerisms,
With a look.
that there's something really wrong. It needs to be fixed. So I can't like I don't know. I feel bad. Like I've never had
Yeah.
a job, a service job.
Yeah.
You have. You grew
Yeah,
up and
yeah.
did work. I never did.
I was a bartender.
Yeah, and I know like if I was doing that, man, my vibes would be.
You'd go in the
horseshit.
back and cry a little
Well, just be like, and I'd be like, yeah, it's hard. I see it as I see it harder because I've never done it either. I think I would be good at it, but until I had to go get 17 refills for the guy, for the guy in Reno.
Or extra napkins.
bit. For the 7th time, we don't have honey mustard.
I've come. I mean,
She
you.
starts right.
No,
in the
what's on the
door.
menu is on the menu. That's
Starts
that's
right
the
up
menu.
in the door when she gets in.
So on
No, I don't want that seat. I want that seat over
No,
there.
come on. I've come a long way. He's really reeled me in. I think of him when I start when I start to maybe get a little hangry.
Yeah, no, 'cause
Hangry, and I just want my food, but
Just-
it's okay. I understand.
That's coming from the best place.
Yes, it
it's
is.
never a bad
That's right.
place.
So Mary, on the TV show, you had a quote that I still remember to this day. You said, "We did the same thing when we were kids. We just didn't have anyone to film it."
No,
Amen.
nobody knew about it.
Is that
yeah.
true?
Yeah, not as bad, but
She
yeah.
raged.
I did rage. I was pretty much. I raged from like 14, 15, and 16, and then by the time that's when I settled down, kind of, so to speak, is when
Okay.
I got with Mike. So
That was a
yeah.
real early start.
So
Yeah.
your late teen years, you're
I had
getting
older
after-
brothers, and I kind of really fended for myself, and I was out.
So she's
I ran the
she's
street.
adopted,
Mm-hmm.
and your parents were amazing, but they were a little they were slightly absent at that
Yes,
time.
yeah. I mean, they were just
So she was just kind
conservative and doing their thing, and I
Yeah.
kind of ran the streets.
You
I
just-
just remember being told to come home when the street lights were on, but that didn't really.
that didn't stick.
No.
Wow.
No.
So no, I
And she was
understand.
smoking heaters, chain smoking them. Filter, lighting the filter up, just
Yeah.
smoking the
Newport
filters.
Lights. Yeah, that
Newport
was the
Lights,
only
smoking
thing.
bogues.
Extra hundreds, the longer.
Dad,
ones,
you gotta
yeah.
have some kind of stories from these times.
Well,
Anything
I'm
you
trying to.
remember?
I'm trying to
does he
visualize. This
ever.
is the 70s, yeah.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
smoked.
No,
The
he didn't
70s
smoke
were a great time.
cigarettes.
They say if you can remember the 70s, you didn't actually live through the 70s.
So,
Yeah,
You should remember some of them.
yeah, but it was alcohol with him. He never smoked.
Okay.
We smoked
Yeah.
a few joints together, but that was about it.
Sprinkling a few J's, never heard of
Yeah,
them.
no.
Real? Have you?
So what did people do in the 70s for fun besides discos? What was you say raging, but like what does that mean? What do people do?
House parties?
Tell me about the houses you guys rented in Jamestown for the summer.
You were on the Airbnb wave before
Yeah,
Airbnb.
it was.
Yeah.
It was the summer
They
rentals.
demolished them though.
They put
Yeah.
holes in the walls and
You guys were wild. He would get rocked and like just go like punch off the lights in the hotel, not even mad at anyone. Just
that
like
was a good though.
just
That
destructing
That was
things.
like in the cave.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That's
So what?
He had
We-
the
that's the
rock
whole
star
point.
blood
What
in
did I
him from day
had
one.
so?
in other words, we did
Yeah,
it.
you're a wild
He did
motherfucker.
it too.
See, if people wonder where I got that wild side in me, it's because
That's it,
it's a
from
DNA
Dad.
thing. I think this episode needs to be. It's all about the DNA.
It is.
It's all on the DNA.
It really is. Yeah.
Which we all,
we are a
just-
direct
just all-
product of
Sure.
our
Yeah, that's the
creators.
crazy part. You grow up, you're a kid, you don't have any scope on it, and then you grow up and you start meeting. Like as soon as I meet Foley's dad, I'm like, okay.
You get it.
I mean, your dad, I'm like, yep. You know.
I'm literally a mix of my mom and dad, and they're the polar
I
opposites.
think I am too.
They're polar opposites, and I sit right in the middle of both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
But it's really like not a saying like the apple
doesn't fall
It
far from the
just-
tree.
It's not. It's so true, and it's crazy. And you realize how lucky you are when you get older. I was talking about this with someone last night. Yeah, a kid in the NFL. He's on the Rams. What the fuck's his name? Bigby. He's a tight end dude. We were talking about parents. He's like, literally had this conversation, and he's like, yeah, it's crazy. When you get older, you realize like, yo, if you didn't have good parents, that's such an unfair advantage.
Very unfair advantage.
It's just like your programming. Say they have terrible views. They're bitter about something. They never got out. Like, they never left Rhode Island. When did you guys leave Rhode Island? Like, really? Until I went to school.
you guys
really,
went
and you
to-
started traveling around to games and shit, right?
Yeah, we never went.
I mean, you would go like on a little vacation here
vacation.
and there, but
Yeah.
like,
No, I didn't see anything really.
but you guys, your
Until
scope.
you went to
That's why I
college.
rock with you guys.
Well, we
so
used to
heavy.
go on vacations. We went to
Little
concerts.
Yeah,
vacations.
yeah, yeah.
but-
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, just in general, like life-wise, like you guys grew up there, you started a family there, you started a business there, you know?
We've been joking about it. I mean, I never left.
went
I never
to
went to
Europe
New York
with
City until I was 40 years old, and I lived 2.5 hours away
Wow.
my whole life, and not until
Yeah, that's
the kids
crazy.
brought me.
We went on the
there.
Letterman's Club trip.
What's that?
Well, all the kids that were athletes at our school.
in high school.
You went
yeah.
with these chaperones, and they tell you on the train.
He did, yeah. When he was
Don't
You were
say
just
anything.
ready to headbutt
when he was a
something.
senior in high
No,
school.
don't
yeah.
say anything about the weekend.
Yeah.
No chaperones.
If I had a head
Chaperones.
like that, I'd be headbutting.
They didn't
So
see
we're in
chaperone
Times
till
Square.
Monday morning.
My head does not look as big as his head at all. Camera? You got,
Mike, you got a noggin,
the
dude.
camera's not
He
gonna
does.
lie about this one. But
He's a
his
little
head's
bigger.
like a bowling ball.
Brielle, what do you call Papa? What do you call Papa's head?
Egghead.
She said,
She calls him a baldy bean.
Brielle
egghead.
got a C on her head too.
Yes, she does.
So my parents are the same way. My dad grew up in Worcester, Mass, and he told me that until he was like, I don't know, 20 maybe, he had never seen a colored human being. He'd never seen a colored human being until he was 20 years old.
Your dad?
Your
Yeah,
dad?
he lived in like a small town outside of Worcester, Massachusetts, and an Indian family moved into town, and he just like assumed they were black.
You just didn't know.
He didn't know.
Nobody of color.
Mm.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this
That's
black.
crazy. That
this
was kind of
black
what
family
my
moved down.
point. Like the programming, you don't realize it, man. Like if your parents have a bad scope
Yeah.
on things, or just the people you're around, even the teachers, the people that influence you and the way you see things. I mean, dude, you can't expect. That's why, like, that's kind of why I stopped fighting and getting mad at people if they got a bad view. Like,
Yeah.
you don't even know. They might just have their
What
parents
they've been
probably
through.
suck. They're
What they've been
fucking-
through, yeah.
Who knows what they've
You know
been
what they
through,
say?
man.
Bad kids aren't born; they're raised.
That's a fact.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
It is a fact. Yeah.
Put it on a T-shirt, guys. Where's Foley at?
Yeah.
That's
Brielle
great.
can be the model for it. Brielle, you want to be a? I'm a noggin head.
Yeah. He does.
So,
The end,
Mike,
yeah.
I only knew you until I knew you. We were 22, maybe.
Yeah.
No, younger than that. 21.
No, I was 22.
We were 21, 22.
22 is when I met you.
I'm now that we have the creators here. I'm more interested of what Michael was like in his primitive years. When let's say like high school, middle school, like the real important years of an adolescent life. I have so many burning questions.
They've been keeping you up at night.
Did young Michael have like girlfriends back then?
Oh yeah.
Like serious girlfriends, or was it
Well-
just like a flavor of the week?
No, I had what was her name? Lonnie.
Oh yeah, Lonnie.
And
I mean, that was like 8th grade.
That
yeah,
still
well, that's what
counts.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
I believe she gave
yeah, I
you your
dated-
first hickey. If
I
I
dated her
remember
for a
right.
little bit.
I was pretty upset
She
about
probably
that.
did.
Wait,
Yeah, he came
Mary,
out of the
Mary,
family
when was
room.
his first hickey?
I think it was Lonnie gave him his first hickey in 7th grade.
Yeah.
It was
And
downstairs.
I said, no more watching TV downstairs.
Yeah, and then I had the rig cable box, right? And he'd be downstairs stretching. He said, and I got,
What was he actually doing?
he was watching porno.
Well, tell Marissa just said it. She said it. She found they were 8 tracks.
I was experimenting.
No, he said, I gotta go down and stretch before the game.
Oh my God.
Mommy's belly laugh.
I mean, not to discount that you had a lovely older sister, but I had an older brother, and that was just porn central for me. I was good.
Yeah,
I was set for
he
life.
Geared you right up into it. You had nothing. See, I was figuring things out for myself down there.
and my
Probably
dad
mixing a few stretches as well as figuring out the female anatomy.
He said he was stretching.
The hilarious part is I'm the least flexible guy.
And
I had the right idea. I had the right idea.
He's listening. So I go, this doesn't add up.
Yeah, but how do you not let him rock?
I did. I let you watch it for a while.
You got it. It was at
funny.
that point. It must have been like what on like TV though.
It was.
Really,
It was. No, it was Spice Channel.
I think we still have them in the attic too. They're
You
little
found the box?
tapes. Little tapes you had in like 8th grade or 7th grade. Were they VHS tapes, I think?
Where are the VHS tapes? What is on those things?
I know.
It's just like.
It was really funny though. So
Stretching.
he was keeping
He
himself
was
busy.
stretching.
I definitely didn't have a lot of girlfriends, and I
Were you bringing girls over the house?
and I was
You had that redhead girl, and then you said that was it. After
Hannah.
that.
Hannah, very
I
nice.
liked Hannah.
You said
Yeah.
she nagged the crap out of you, and you said, "That's it. I'm done with girls."
It's been an ongoing theme.
But Michael was very well taken care of between Marissa and I and his father. His father ironed his clothes every day,
Wow,
shirt and khakis for high school 4 years straight,
that's incredible.
with
I was like
creases
Sachi
in the.
one day.
I was
he was very well taken care of.
yeah, it's insane how well taken care of I've been. It's just, you just gotta thank the
Still
heavens,
is,
guys.
right?
Mike, did you
Yeah.
always have the bedroom in the basement?
No, it was an audible we called. But how old was I? Like 12. I was like, I gotta get
Well,
down
you
there.
were
when the
younger
porno
than that.
started.
Well, about 11 or 12.
That's when-
yeah.
When I
Well,
realized that existed, I was like, move me down there.
well, he slept on the pull-out couch a few nights
Yeah.
over a weekend, and then he said he was too big for his twin bed, or it was a
Can I have a
full-size
TV
bed
down
upstairs.
there too?
Well, there was a TV down there, and then that became his bedroom ever since then. So he was about 11 or 12.
That's great. So
Yeah.
you were like sometimes bringing girls down.
But
there.
I was a little.
yeah.
But I was, dude. I was kind of like a.
more of a street rat.
I mean, dude, I was like a street rat. I was really pretty focused. I didn't have like I was just when she was talking about her age and like partying, I was the opposite.
Okay.
Neither
didn't
one of
really
my
even-
kids ever came home drunk ever
I didn't really.
as
yeah,
teenagers.
That's debatable, but
that I know about.
but
No,
but
but
you're
I
right.
was there at the door or picked you up.
No, you're right.
You were never. You had
But
a few
I
drinks,
didn't really
but,
like drink.
No. But not like
Until
stumbling.
college, really. Like,
Yeah.
I went to so I got kicked out of some middle schools for fighting and shit. In that city, I just had problems. Like the city I grew up in. I mean, yeah, I was like, if someone said something, I was just fight them, instead of like the regular. But, anyways, so I ended up at another school outside where if I went where Blue went, Cranston West, like I would have partied way earlier. I'm
sure.
thankful I didn't.
Yeah.
Cause like I lived there too. I'd be in that neighborhood. This was in the inner city. It was like it was a lot of black kids, a lot of Spanish kids. They weren't necessarily.
Was this a private
No,
school though?
It's private, but it's like
the high
kind
school,
of
yeah.
under budget. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? They cater to like inner city.
And it was a Catholic school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, they cater to
Yeah.
the inner city.
They had a
and,
lot of
like,
kids that
It
were
was just the
sponsored that
location
were
wasn't
really, kids that really strived for education. So they got sponsorships, but
Okay.
they came from, homes that
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to
It's
financially.
just not like a
Yeah.
private. It was pretty
Okay.
like edgy.
Because I went to like a private school.
Yeah, no, I wasn't that.
Wasn't a private. private school.
But my point is like they're all mainly. I was like really into basketball. The team was mainly black kids. Like I had inner city friend, and those kids don't really like. I don't know. That's a blanket statement, but I feel like the fucking Cranston West. If I had went there, it's like your typical like bunch of kids drinking beers for the first time, like skipping class. Like it
Oh,
just
same,
wasn't
yeah.
like
These kids
that.
were good kids that took you for who you were, and they took him for who he was, and he had some great friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, even like also just the culture of like I was such a basketball player. Like, yeah, bro, I really didn't party much until I was 18 and at Duke.
Yeah, that's crazy.
and it's crazy to think.
Yeah.
But like that's why I feel so like I feel like I live 2 different lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even
It is.
well, 21 is when I got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So or when we kind of like started to segue into this. But man, I really so that's why like the partying and everyone's like, how do you do it? Like it's just like, dude, I didn't really have much of that. Like I didn't even in college, bro. I haven't been on one spring break ever.
I know, that's wild.
Ever because baseball.
It's made up for it though.
I mean, every day is fucking spring break now. Sorry, I keep
Yeah,
saying
made up for it.
but
I know you really eased into
You never
it
asked to
with
go.
grace.
Even. It was
well,
always
but
baseball.
I couldn't
It was
go.
baseball.
We had Duke. We'd be playing like
Oh no, I get it.
Couldn't even
You know?
ride a bike.
I can ride a bike.
You couldn't back then.
Really?
Yeah,
This guy's
first,
Mike Senior taking stabs at you. He couldn't even ride a bike.
oh, because
Ride
he's
a
always he never really played. He was always on a team or something. So
He didn't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
then he didn't want the other.
cracking
When he
up.
was really little, the funny thing, a joke about a bike though, is you didn't want to wear a helmet. So you took the helmet and you put under Dad's wheel. So when he backed up out of the garage, it broke the helmet.
It's innovative.
That's adorable.
So I said, "Well, you're not riding your bike." And he could care less. He never rode it again.
Yeah, I wasn't a big. I'm not like a. If you put me on a skateboard right now, you'd be like, that's the most unathletic guy I've ever seen. I can't even stand in place on it.
I'm literally good at all the things that you're not good at.
It interchange.
It drives me insane because I play pickup basketball with you guys, and I'm like literally the worst person in the group, not even close. As
You
far
are, but
as-
I love your effort, and you got the funniest Euro step
And then we get, and
on
then
this side of the.
and
this
then
side
when
of
it comes to
Mississippi.
like the non-cool things like skateboarding and golf, I'm just like running it, and I have no one to play with.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have a poo-poo back right now, I would go swing some
He can
sticks
hit
with
it.
you.
It's incredible.
I could.
He can
it's just
hit it.
like I could hit it far, but I'm not great. But I could go. I would go play with you.
I've been making a serious effort
I got a horse
to
shit
hit
back.
the long
you know
ball.
this. You wake up, you see me foam rolling on the deck. You know what's going on. I'm in the trenches.
All right, I'm getting antsy again because we do have a clip lined up, and
Can we take a pee break?
you want to do that first? That's actually a good idea.
Pee break.
Pee break.
We'll be right back with You Never Know, You Know What I Mean, right after this urination break.
All right, well, we have this great clip lined up.
We ready to rock?
Mike Senior, you're going to want to pay attention to this.
Where's my dad? Where's my dad at? Where's my dad at? Come on here. Come on here, big man. Make some noise for Papa Scott.
So this is, I want to say this is like 2016 maybe, 2015, probably 2016 maybe,
Yeah, this is 2016.
in Providence. And you said it in the video, but you said this was the first time you've really brought him out on stage.
Yeah, it was.
That's great.
Yeah, this was a horseshit effort, but we'll break it down pitch by pitch here.
Granted, it's a Narragansett tall boy. You're setting him up to fail.
It is, but here's what's all wrong. He didn't commit to it out of the gate. You see the beard trajectory and angle? If you're really committed to it, you're here. At this pace, it's not.
I know, he poured a lot
That's
of
why,
it out.
yeah, see.
All right, so now fast forward. This is the
Yeah, so we had a Torrance Boring episode about it. We made fun of
Yeah.
him for it. It was on his mind. You could see it. He's
There you
ready.
go,
he knew it was
Papa.
coming. He
This-
came in a lot.
This is Boston at our most
He
recent
came
show.
in a lot more hot here.
right
Early
here.
part of 2019.
Look at the swag on the walkout.
2019. He looks like now he's done this before.
He waves like he's like.
It's like Mickey Mantle's last
like-
game.
Was on the Red Sox for 30 years.
Yeah,
and
it's
he's
incredible.
walking back out to Fenway.
This is our final season of Torrance Born right here. I mean, we're gonna.
Look at him. He's gathering himself.
Obviously, you guys will understand what's happening after this tour ends. I know there's a lack of clarity right now, but our final season of the true Torrance Born is right now. This season that's about to come out. Boston, we need a whole probably 2 episodes. We got 2 nights. Okay.
These shows are fucking fun.
Torrance Born, you know, we have a little saga. First time I brought him out here to chug a beer, you fucking failed.
I didn't fail. It was 16 ounces. I drank it like nothing.
Second time we brought him out, he fucking crushed it. So this
We used to put
We're
the-
putting you at high standards here.
You guys
I'm
are-
not gonna sugarcoat it for you.
And here he goes.
Oh, here we go. He's
It's
off.
still not much
Oh
higher.
boy.
Well, it's a cup, so you don't have the choice. I was just gonna say that.
And look at that. There she goes.
Yeah, Senate.
Oh wow.
He needed the bright light. Oh,
and he tosses
got the toss. Swag's crazy.
And he tosses the cup.
So
That was plastic,
the
I
angle
hope, right?
The because
Wait, here, hold on. Press play real quick. There's only 5 seconds left. You just got to see this little swaggy move right here. There it is. Incredible.
fuck, god damn it. What was I saying?
The angle.
The angle is null and void. I'm talking when you got a bottle or a can. That's why the chug bud's so special.
You got to go
or
6
that's
to
why
midnight.
you shotgun.
You got to go 6 to midnight.
Because
on
you're
the
trying to get
cannonballs.
the flow. The
Yeah.
flow's already hard out of a can.
Yeah.
That's why you're struggling with Tall Boy because
So he was.
you gotta just you live
Had
and
no
you learn.
choice.
Struggling.
You learn from me, I learn from you. Vice and versa.
We used to punch a hole and then crack the top.
Oh,
So
the
you had to be
shotgun,
up
yeah.
there.
It's a shotgun.
The shotgun.
Keep it. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're innovating the space. They've been shotgunning since when was that? High school?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, was beer chugging like glorified back in the day? The same
yeah.
as it is now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
it
were you a
was.
beer guy? You like at the party drink as many beers as you can type shit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at the beginning.
yeah.
We used
Not
to-
I mean, for you to
beer.
headbutt some lights on the wall, I'm pretty sure you had to have more than 5 beers.
yeah, no,
You
we
had
used
the
to,
bottles hidden in the lockers at school,
like
though.
a case.
The
case
hard
of
liquor,
beer a
too.
night. On a party night.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could drink like you drink.
Yeah.
There's a quote from
It's in the DNA.
there's a quote from one of my favorite movies that reminds me of Mike Senior. It's from Dazed and Confused. A guy in the movie, he's at a party and he's like, "I'm here for 2 reasons: drinking beer and kicking ass. Looks like we're almost out of beer." Is that pretty accurate?
But instead, he said that to the wall because he didn't put his head through it. If no one wanted
Only
to
on a
smoke,
few
he'd just hit the
occasions.
wall instead.
I used to run through the fences.
This is real shit, though. That's not. I used to hear about this shit. I'm like, what are you
And
talking
also,
about?
you used to
Run through
drive
the fence?
over
Get in a
mailboxes,
lineman
too.
stance and then take down like a stockade fence.
What's a stockade fence? Like
Like a
a
6-foot.
the wooden one?
section,
Like a wooden
yeah.
one, yeah. And you drove over mailboxes quite often.
Yeah, you were
You
a
know,
wild
the kinds that are at the
motherfucker.
end of the
You were
driveway.
the movie Dazed and Confused. They
He's
used to
a
drive
wild
down.
guy.
They used to drive down and hit mailboxes with baseball bats.
You
Oh
liked
my
it?
God,
You
no,
liked
I
it?
used to like drive down the Jamestown Bridge with buckets over your head.
Yeah, you.
Right?
Yeah, y'all were wild. That's crazy.
right? Is
That's
that
like
right?
Jackass before Jackass.
is.
You were innovating.
I was just gonna say that. That's incredible.
We didn't have videos.
I mean,
so-
that's what she means by her quote, though.
yeah.
That's why you think she's not so. She gets what I'm doing because like
Right.
she saw
She
it.
saw it
Yeah.
firsthand.
Michael Jr. Has 2 new tattoos. Did you guys see him yet?
Yeah.
Mike, I'm sure most people haven't seen him yet. Why don't you walk us through your new tattoos?
Yeah. We'll just take a picture and put it up while
Yeah,
I'm talking about
yeah.
it. But this is a design like we were here the other night. Post was here. When Post comes into town, I know when he means business because he's like, yo, I'm coming over, and he comes over. He doesn't leave.
He doesn't just come over.
He stays for 3 or 4
No,
days.
he hunkers down like where like it's like I feel like a Motel 6. Like it's not even. It's like there's a bunch of security guards like lingering around. No one really knows what to do. All he wants to do, in a span of 48 hours, we played, no exaggeration, at least 1 beer pong game per hour.
Yeah.
So we played close to 50 games in 2 days.
No exaggeration.
0. I also lost 10 grand. You win some, you lose some, guys. No, I lost. I carried. Poston's gonna see this. He's way too busy and famous. I carried his ass. Carried his ass. And fucking Austin, our manager, Austin Rosen, who is not a beer pong guy. The guy's fresh off the yacht.
He's straight business.
He was fresh off the yacht though. He just came back from the Bahamas. He looked like I was making fun of him all night. Came and he went like for the money, for the shot, for the game-winning shot, which is like kind of a hard shot.
For sure.
He hit them both.
Yeah.
But both games. Because we doubled or nothing. And we came back and won. And then he did it again. And it was just like
You
we were
lost
meant to
10K.
lose. But you charged to the game.
Well,
You charge
anyways,
the game.
from my perspective, you say Post comes and he stays for multiple days.
Yeah.
Mind you, this is the biggest music artist in the world.
Dude.
He has lots of money.
Dude, let me walk you through what happened. He didn't change. He didn't change. He showered and put the clothes back on. I was like, dude, you want me to give you some clothes? He's like, no, I'm good. He wakes me up. We go to bed at like 8. Wakes me up at like 2. He's like, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings. We go right to Buffalo Wild
This
Wings.
is why you guys are friends.
This is exactly. Want to go do karate in the garage? And then we go to Buffalo Wild Wings, get a bunch of pitchers of beer. There's fans like they never thought they'd see Post Malone at Buffalo Wild. People are going bonkers in there.
for a
He's
happy
ordering
hour.
mozzarella sticks for everyone. It's
Free mozzarella sticks for the whole bar.
like that's a guy like. People say it to me like, yo, you haven't changed. Well, you know, you haven't gotten bougie or LA.
Right.
If he doesn't, how, like, he's a perfect example. Like, he's the most famous.
Right.
Guy can't step outside his house with people looking at him.
He's a
trying
true
to get
rock
a
star.
picture. True rock star. But the most authentic dude, you know? He ain't switched up for shit.
My first experience was like, I don't know, like a year and a half ago. And I'm like cooking breakfast after a party. And it's like, I don't know, like 10 a.m.
Sounds about right.
I'm cooking eggs. And I'm like looking over under the couch. I'm like, is that Post Malone sleeping on her fucking couch right now?
And he doesn't, yeah, when he's here, he doesn't leave. It's
This
just,
man, he could sleep at the Ritz
It's
every
home.
day for 10
Home
years if he
sweet
wanted
home
to.
for
him.
And he's sleeping on our front couch.
He likes coming over here because he feels comfy.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you know
love
what
it.
mean?
I love it.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best.
That's great.
And it's just every time, like, we don't get to see him as much anymore.
Right.
You know? But, sheesh.
It's just one of those moments where you're like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
How did I get here?
You always end up where you're supposed to be, Steve.
So that's sorry.
Oh, yes.
Explain the tattoo.
So,
Sorry.
so we had a bunch of people here, and we had a tattoo artist come over. So, In the Trenches is actually a brand we're gonna start. The Steves, you guys will be consuming it soon, guys. Hopefully. In the Trenches is like it's a war reference. So I have like so Foley made this like on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Just drew it up on like a piece of paper, and then the dude kind of made it more like a tattoo. But it's a World War I helmet, so Carl would really get his rocks off to this.
And you got these tattoos at like 6 a.m.
Yeah. Well, this one was like 4 a.m, and then Post gave me this one at like. Post is terrible.
Well, walk us through the first one first.
So In the Trenches is like a saying we always say. We use it loosely, so it could mean like if you're hungover as fuck, you know, and you've been going hard, you'd be like, man, I'm in the trenches. Or if you're fighting with your girl, he texted me last night. Well, I don't even know if he's fighting, but we're about to go out, and he's like, I think I'm staying in. I'm in the trenches. And then he's like, never mind, I'm coming. But we so we use it like
No
that,
comment.
but also like it's more about like who do you want to be in the trenches with?
Exactly. I told you it's like
it takes a certain guy, like
Yeah.
who are you ready to die with next to you? You know, like who would you go to work with?
Right.
If that was all you could do.
I have
you know?
the saying foxhole guys.
Foxhole guys.
I only hang out with foxhole guys like you said.
That's a t-shirt as well.
Yeah.
So In the Trenches is like, I think it's just a cool brand. And it fits. It's aligned with all like the For the Homies shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was something we talked about for a while. I want to get a few more tats, but I'm not. You could tell. I'm not like. I feel like with my body, if I had sleeves or like super tatted, I'd
Right.
literally look like a dude from Jersey Shore. Like, you know what I mean? I'm kind of like bigger.
Yeah.
It's just not like everyone in LA got sleeves and they can swag it out, but
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like me, they'd be like, look like Mike the Situation,
I get it.
you know?
Right.
And then Post, the tattoo artist was up in the studio. It was getting late, but the party was still going, guys. And I was like, Post, write it out, because we always say, you ready? So I had him write it on the thing, and then the tattoo artist was getting ready to do it, and he's like, no, I want to do it. Like, he wanted to actually tattoo. He's tattooed people before, I guess.
Post Malone wanted to tattoo you.
So he tattooed me, and it's safe to say he botched it.
Not his best work.
But it makes it even better.
Yeah, it's for the story.
So it's you ready, but like there's a space in between. I'm pretty sure he misspelled ready. He charges to the game. And then Blue got one on his ankle, and I was like, it's just funny because like it's a funny place for a guy to get a tattoo. He just wanted to get one because the tattoo artist is there. You're like, fuck it. And
Yeah.
Blue has
I
tattoos
didn't see
everywhere.
that.
But Post,
What is it?
so Post gave him one, and I was like, sign that shit. So he has Post's autograph on his ankle.
Oh no. Oh god.
I'm guessing he didn't sketch it out beforehand.
There was no sketch.
It was a freehand.
And like he went like this one's like right on the bone.
Oh boy.
He was going in. Like I don't think he knew exactly like the pressure amounts, you know. But he charges to the game. I actually really like it. It's like right where I wear my socks all the time, so it fits. But yeah, it was a good night. It wasn't many. There's probably like 5 tattoos given. It wasn't a crazy amount that night.
But this was at like the back
Gotta
end.
get one. You gotta get a YNK.
This was like the back end of a rager.
You guys all need a YNK. What the hell are we waiting for, guys?
Well, I waited in line at your show in Boston, and
You
it
don't
got
have to
too
wait in
busy.
line.
Does the
tattoo
family have?
line was
Does the family
long
have tattoos?
No.
Do you get-
No.
There was a tattoo artist at one of his shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a
next time I
tattooless
will.
family as well, including myself.
So you're never gonna pull a trigger on it, huh?
I don't know. I feel like
I'm shocked.
You don't want to ruin perfection.
exactly like
It doesn't even have to be in a place
Set
that
it
it could
for
be like
you.
on your butt cheek. It'd be funny.
if I get one, it's either going to be like a ridiculous drunk situation or it's going to like really mean something.
You should get a huge picture of The Rock on your ass.
Well, I was going to say the Rock didn't get the majority of his tattoos until he was like in his late 30s, 40s. So
Really?
he had his his like Brahma Bull tattoo on his arm, the signature that's like on your T-shirt. But besides that, he didn't really have that many. Now that he's older in his 40s, he had like a huge sleeve and everything. So
he added up.
It's never too late.
We gotta follow the people we look up to. That's what I'm doing.
I think you could do. I think you could pull off the big tribal tattoo. Can you imagine Kilmer with that? His whole vibe would be confusing. Be like, is that guy crazy? Is he tough? Is he?
I don't know what I would get.
And then you put on One Direction and
what tattoo would I put on?
Go
my
wait
body?
in line for the Lion King, and everything doesn't make sense to you.
I don't understand. Oh, you just said Lion King. Before we end here, I have a few things I need to say.
You have some thoughts, things you need to get off your chest about it?
I do. I want to vent a little bit.
Go ahead. He came up to me on the deck the other night. He's like,
You disappointed?
he's like, saw the Lion King.
He looks. What's
I have some thoughts.
Well, all right. I am John Kilmer, the filmer. I take movies very seriously. I love watching movies. I'm not a harsh critic. I literally go to movies to be entertained.
You do.
99.9% of the time I am. And just to get this out of the way, Lion King was fantastic. It was breathtaking. It was really good.
Brielle wants to see it. The Lion King.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Brielle, I highly suggest you watch The Lion King. It was fantastic. Has she seen the original? Okay, it's a little traumatizing.
Sprinkle that
It's
in.
a traumatizing film, the original.
It is.
It is. Spoiler alert. Mufasa dies. But
Spoiler alert, I'm not going to see it anyway, so you could say it.
so my girlfriend and I decided to see on day of opening night to get tickets. We got like the worst seats in the house, but we just wanted to go. And was I a little wine drunk before I walked in?
Possibly.
Possibly. Was I excited to see the movie? Yes. So I go and see it, and my first thought off the bat, the animation is incredible. They look like real animals.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it in my entire
Of
life.
course. It's just a huge budget, too.
It's like, I know, you had like 200 Asian guys for 3 months just crunching on computers.
Fucking, I don't even know. How was that coding? I don't even know.
It's animating, but I don't know anything about it.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what even is the science behind animation? Like,
It's
I don't even know.
at this point, everything looked real. It wasn't even like, it just looked like real animals were talking and doing the Lion King. It was fantastic. So that was my first thought. My second thought was that I was paying close attention to the voice actors because it has a pretty stacked cast. You know, you have Beyonce, Seth Rogen, Donald Glover. The list goes on and on. So that was the second thing I was paying attention to. I'm just going to come out and say it. I wanted him to be good. Donald Glover dropped the ball.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprising.
Dropped the ball.
Surprising. I'm a fan of most of what that guy does.
You know, like when you think of like animated films, you want voices to be animated and like fun. And he kind of like swagged it out a little too much.
You think?
He was like,
It bothered you.
He was too much of like a cool guy and swagged it out. And like,
But he's not even a cool...
And
really.
like maybe if it was filmed in person and it was him talking like that, it would have been fine. But he's a lion on a children's movie. Don't swag it out, dude.
You didn't like the tone.
Your voice needs to be like this. I'm Simba. This is how I talk.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, what's up? I'm Simba. How's it going? Like,
Oh, it was like that?
like, oh, Nala, what's up, girl?
So it bothered you?
Oh.
That's Childish Gambino. He's
It just it threw me off a little bit. It threw me
Really
off a little bit.
talented.
That's really the only negative thing I have to say about the film.
Yeah. And I was actually excited for him. That's a big look for him.
It's a huge look for him. And like, I don't know, maybe other people will disagree with me, but that's just
I'd love to get in the voisover game.
yeah.
I'm gonna
It's,
get into it at some
and it's
point.
like, if you can be a great actor, but you can be a terrible voice actor.
I don't even know if I could really act. Maybe I could act, but I think I could do voiceovers crazy.
The highlights. There were two people that really stole the show. It was
Beyonce.
Timon and Pumbaa, played
Beyonce.
by Seth Rogen, which he looks
he's
like
great.
a Pumbaa.
Yeah.
And Billy Eichner, I don't know if you know who he is. He has a show called Billy on the Street. He's just like a very like aggressively sassy gay man.
Yeah.
And that's who was Timon. So Timon was the voice of an angry, sassy gay man, like passive aggressive, saying passive aggressive things, and like it was the funniest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
So you think I should go watch it?
Yeah, I suggest anyone watch Lion King. Like anyone, it's for all
I'm
ages.
Put it out there. I'm definitely not gonna go watch it. I would potentially watch
Wait
it.
till it hits DVD and then come watch it.
DVD.
And then while we're looking into the future, if I'm just going to give like a few picks of what you should see, obviously August 2nd, the biggest release date of all time.
Hobbs and
Dwayne Johnson starring in Hobbs and Shaw. I'm about to buy my tickets 2 weeks in advance.
He loves The Rock.
I mean, Kilmer loves The Rock like 12-year-old girls used to love Justin Bieber.
Come on.
I just
He would chase him around the city if he knew where he was at.
all right.
just
Listen,
to
like
maybe-
this, like you. you can tell me if this is weird, but like this is gonna sound so bad. I have an appreciation for a strong male physique.
It did sound bad.
In a way that, like, you know, you look up.
No,
to, like,
you love working out.
You look at the people
shit.
that are like superheroes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, he's like a real life superhero.
and you think of film actors now, like he's it.
Yeah.
You know, like Stallone, he's old as dirt. He's still doing movies, but he's old
You
as
mean
dirt.
action?
Yeah, like action films and like people.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, dude. I hate to rain on the parade. I haven't liked a movie with The Rock in it in fucking sorry years, maybe ever.
It's
not ever. But I'm a fan of him.
No, I'm a fan of
and
him
I'm a
too.
fan of him as a person and like what he does.
It depends on like why you go to movies to like watch the
But
movie.
you have a wider range of stuff you like and enjoy. Like you said, I'm more of like a critic. Like I can't watch it. I'm like, oh my god, what is he doing? Like,
Well, Mike, if you're more of a movie critic, then I suggest you watch the new Tarantino film coming out. I don't know if you're familiar
that's
with
more up my alley.
Quentin Tarantino's new film starring Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's right up my alley.
I think it's the first time they've been in a film together.
Oh yes, I heard about.
It's
this.
about old Hollywood. I'm super
That's
psyched
exactly
about
what I
it. It's
wanna
coming
see.
out really soon.
That's what I
think
wanna
it comes
see.
out like in a couple days.
Yeah.
By the time this podcast is out, it's probably going to be out.
Fire.
So, anyways, those are my picks. Pick your poison.
Marissa didn't get a chance to
I
say
did.
you
I
had
said plenty.
your presence was felt
Thank you.
exceptionally felt.
I don't like to speak.
You also don't have a mic, so it's not. The odds are stacked up against you.
Just
I
sitting
get
there is
shy.
all we need. Her beauty.
Speak, mommy.
Speak, mommy.
Michael,
I
the
speak.
Sander family, any closing statements?
We love Mikey. Love
Yeah.
being here.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful
Love it.
visit.
Can we get a group hug? Can
We're
we just
very
all-
proud of him.
That's how we end the episode.
This is it. En route.
It's all
love
in the
you guys.
DNA.
This episode
It's
is
all in
brought
the
to you by
DNA.
family.
It's all in the DNA.
And we're out.